As early as the 19th century, there were stories originating from Nepalese folklore of mythical creatures residing in the Himalayas who had the appearance of an ape and were taller than an average human. The so-called Yeti became referred to as the abominable snowman by British explorers who discovered large man-like footprints in the snow, potentially signifying its existence. Stories of similar bipedal creatures began to appear in North America, specifically the Pacific Northwest, where they were believed to inhabit the local forests and given the name Bigfoot or Sasquatch. While there has been little evidence to conclusively verify their existence in present times, the Sasquatch has remained a phenomenon in the fields of both science and pop culture. When the developers on Darkstalkers started coming up with their own interpretation of the Sasquatch, they initially had a character that featured brown fur over its body, or one that resembled a cyclops. All of these early incarnations were designed with a violent animalistic nature as the primary theme, but over time that image began to soften into one that was much more adorable and charming. When character designer Akira Yasuda saw the Sasquatch concept with white fur, he knew that was going to be the one. According to Objects designer Mizue Morimoto, one of the main rules given to the Darkstalkers art team was that the characters were not allowed to stop at any time, so she ensured that Sasquatch's fur was perpetually wavering in motion. She was driven by the desire to emulate the movements found in Disney cartoons, so for all of Sasquatch's attacks, she tried to make it look like he was giving it everything he had, with as many comical details as possible. According to Haruo Murata, Sasquatch is a character who marches to the beat of his own drum. He is a great example of how a totally free-spirited person with superhuman strength could cause some serious mayhem, much like Goku did early on in the Dragon Ball series. As a possible homage to his original inspiration, Sasquatch's given birth year was 1903, the same year Western scientists first discovered the mountain gorillas of Central Africa, a possible relative to the original Sasquatch. Sasquatch and his kind have the ability to control water and turn their enemies into ice using their bodies in various ways. He could also summon creatures from the demon world Makai to assist him in combat, like the kamikaze bomber penguins, known as the Magical Avalanche Penguin Super Unit, or just MAPS, the snow beasts who resemble dogs which he summons when riding his sled, or even a baby whale that comes out from underground. Sasquatch belongs to a tribe of about 100 Bigfoot creatures that reside deep within the Rocky Mountains of Canada. Given their small population, it was more like one big family than a typical tribe. Along with the creatures from the Makai mentioned earlier, the village also contained a race of snowmen and a network of friendly Makai seals in charge of their postal service, which was their form of communication to the outside world. The Bigfoot creatures are not a belligerent race, but rather, they are friendly towards other races as long as they themselves were not treated as wild animals by them. They were willing to show signs of friendship as long as it was reciprocated by the other party. A common extension of friendship was through the exchange of food, as they were often fond of consuming bananas given to them from a nearby village named Crevasse. Sasquatch was given the title of Village Protector after proving his strength in a tournament held by his tribe, where he defeated his rival Donkeko in combat. When unwanted outsiders begin tormenting his village, Sasquatch sets out to face these enemies in their own territories. Following his victories, the tribe initiated a plan for world domination, but they abdicate their duties when they encounter that nearby village and grow fond of their supply of bananas. Following a trip to the human town, Sasquatch returns home and discovers his tribe has disappeared, with no sign of them outside of a deep black hole in the center of his village. He fears they may be in trouble, so with the help of his friends from the Makai, Sasquatch jumps into the hole, transporting himself into the Majigan, a newly created dimension from the demon lord Jeddah. In the end, he finds out his fellow tribesmen had willingly gone into the Majigan after Jeddah had offered them lots of bananas, blissfully unaware of his nefarious intentions. Sasquatch has appeared in every Darkstalkers game, with the exception of Vampire Savior 2, and even starred in 2 games released by Capcom for mobile phones, named Sasquatch Go Home and its sequel Sasquatch Go Home 2. While he may not be as attractive or idealized as other Darkstalkers, Sasquatch embodies a character who simply enjoys being his own absurd self. From his facial expressions to his exaggerated proportions, Sasquatch's distinguishable design and lovable personality has made him inseparable from the roster of monsters, because he represents the extreme lengths given to his creators that could only be achieved in a fighting game series like Darkstalkers.